and welcome to another exciting episode of The Debater. We have moved in towards the quarterfinals. We're discussing topics that concern you, topics of national interest, and the topic that will be battled here today is whether or not private universities should be established in Sri Lanka. Last week you saw St. Sylvester's taking on Kingswood College, and today will be a battle between Kandy and Colombo. And coincidence was such that this same matchup was repeated in round 1. But the only difference was that the proposition and the opposition was reversed. We have a proposition that has been able to make their mark as an SMS favourite. They got in towards the quarterfinals because of your votes. And representing the proposition, we have it as Kingswood College, Kandy. On the other hand, our opposition has been able to walk away with 2 Best Speaker awards during both the instances that they were on the debating stage. Introducing to you our opposition for today, Muslim Ladies College, Colombo. Without further ado, let me introduce to you our eminent panel of judges for today. We're pleased to have it as Member of Parliament, Mr. Eran Vikramaratne. He was the former Chief Executive Officer for the NDB Bank. We also have with us Mr. Imran Furqan. He is currently the Chief Executive Officer of the Sri Lanka Press Institute. We also have with us Mr. Anushka Vijayasinghe. He is an economist at the Institute of Policy Studies while being a visiting lecturer at the Bandaranaike Centre for International Studies. And our observer for today will be Ms. Kanchana De Silva, and she is the Group General Manager for Achievers. We're expecting to witness a rather entertaining debate because on one side we have a team that has been very tricky and very intelligent with the use of props as well as the props of other teams. And we also have another team that has been extremely dramatic and theatrical. And expecting a lot more to come forward, we're ready to move on to the opening statements, a chance for both the proposition and the opposition to establish a foundation. Proposition, the floor is now yours.
Hi, I'm Sachintani Aramipula and I'm the first speaker today, and you have an action-packed debate ahead of you. I'm standing here today to prove already proven fact that private universities should be established in Sri Lanka. Higher education is a cornerstone of development in any nation. A university is a large and diverse institution of higher learning created to educate for life and for a profession. So what are the objectives a higher learning institution should follow? They should make good academics, great academics, and it should reach out to all the people willing to receive an education and allow them to chase their dreams and pursue their passions. But has the 15 state universities in Sri Lanka met these objectives? Does it produce the number of capable graduates that it has the ability to produce? No, because in 2009 the statistics clearly state out of all the students who got accepted to university, who got qualified for university, only 17% were absorbed by the state universities. So what happens to the other 83%? So it is clear that the state universities cannot cater to all the students who have the right to higher education. The state focuses more on making more graduates rather than making graduates who are in par with the job market and employability in Sri Lanka. As a result, the unemployment rates skyrocket and brain drain happens. And it is not a secret that students don't often get into the preferred universities and they do not get the preferred subjects. So they lose the basic incentive to go through with higher education. So what can private universities offer? They can lend a much needed helping hand to meet the demands of higher education in Sri Lanka, and it can offer courses which will complement the preference of students and offer more practical and job-oriented programs. And it will allow them to develop soft skills which have a high demand in the job market and encourage foreign exchange. So it is clear that the private universities can offer a much needed solution to the problems of higher education in Sri Lanka. Therefore, my points clearly suggest that private universities should be established in Sri Lanka.
Hi, I'm Rizma Nawaz, the first speaker of the debating team of Muslim Ladies College. As a side opposition, me and my team strongly believe that private universities should not be established in Sri Lanka. Before justifying my statement, I'd like to define some keywords. Private means that the funds are collected from tuition, investment or private donors. University colleges are synonyms, a place where you study to achieve or earn your higher education degree. Distinguished judges, I would like to question, If there is a problem prevailing in the public sector, why don't we provide solutions? Why do we need private universities, which is a whole new concept for the Sri Lankan criteria? Let me explain. Each and every country in the world maintains a very specific policy when it comes for education. Likewise, Sri Lanka maintains the concept of free education, established in year 1947 by Honorable Minister C.W.W. Kannangara. Also, free education simply means giving opportunity to everyone equally. It is nothing but a mere ridicule when my worthy opponents come in front and say, public universities does not grant opportunities. Think it is only in the public universities that we see students doing their A-level examinations 2 to 3 times if they fail. Also, it is only in public universities that we see students doing their arrears exams if they fail to perform well during their examination. Again, think twice. Do we need private universities? Imagine private universities were established. The money-oriented structure would come into practice. Service-oriented structure would go to ditch. And quality of education, quality output of the public sector would become quality input. Think twice. Think twice. Do we need private universities established in Sri Lanka? Of course, we are not talking about the survival of the richest here.
We saw the conclusion of the opening statements, and this is a battle between one team that has always maintained their position as one of the SMS favorites, a favorite of yours, and another team that has always been able to directly qualify themselves in each of the rounds that they were on the debater stage. What will happen is to be decided as the rounds go on. We're ready to move on to the face-off round. As you know, the rules have changed. The chosen member from each team will face off the points of information directed to them from 2 members of the other team. Proposition, opposition, the floor is now yours.
Hi, I'm Amani Walid from Hillwood College, and I will be the second speaker today. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a big fight today. Honorable judges, members of the House, and my dear friends, the main reason for people to oppose to the private investments in university education is that they think that private universities would harm the present free education system in Sri Lanka. Most people think that free education means not having to pay. It's a huge misconception. Free education implies that every citizen in the country is free or has the right to be educated. It's not for the rich, not for the poor, but every single individual in the country. Yes.
And by establishing private universities, we are automatically allocating the available places to the rich.
It doesn't mean rich. Whoever can afford a private university doesn't make a person rich.
Ma'am, the mean household expenditure of a family of 4 is 32,500 rupees. So how do you expect them to pay such a huge amount?
Well, currently we have student loans, and in other countries, students pawn their houses, sell their cars. Why can't our students do stuff like that?
Ma'am, so
The fact that a significant number of GCE level students who qualify for university education fail to secure a place in the local universities, and number of technical college and vocational training institutes existing today is not at all sufficient to transform the majority of those who fall behind at A-levels to be useful citizens. Yes.
ma'am, from the 83% who cannot enter public universities, how many of them will actually be able to afford the private universities?
Well, if a person wants to be educated, you have to say you want to be a chemist. You have to try, you have to do everything you can. It's your aim, your dream.
Ma'am, everybody likes to be the president of the country, but everybody is not capable of doing so.
Well, it's up to your talents. Exactly. You have to try hard. You have to give your best. Expanding the public university systems to solve this problem is not the solution due to several reasons. First and foremost, it is not affordable for a country like us. Secondly, those who are responsible for state education have not planned dynamically to produce the graduates required according to the changes of needs and technology with the time. Hence, there are unemployed graduates even among the meager number passing out from the state universities because there is a mismatch in the mismatch in the courses offered in them and the competencies needed by the private sector. We aren't against the system, but we are pointing small problems which through the years have become huge problems.
Man, you said that talented students should be able to go. That is exactly what state universities are doing. Only capable students are allowed to go into
Are
universities.
you saying the remaining 83% aren't talented? Also, those who can afford foreign universities tend to stay back to cover the costs and facilities received, resulting loss of foreign exchange and brain drain. On the contrary, if these students pursue higher education in a private university within this country, we would be able to produce graduates with a better understanding of Sri Lanka. Yes.
And why not expand the public university to international standards, because there will be a macroeconomic development, and with the expansion of job market, this is not infeasible, ma'am.
Just few seconds ago, I gave you reasons why expanding private local universities is not going to solve the problem. And also, establishing private universities will actually take the standards of local universities to higher levels because of the competition. The majority is of the opinion that those who enter local universities after intense competition will be at a disadvantage when it comes to seeking jobs. Because those who score less marks at A levels will also compete with them by going to private universities. This is a myth. The bitter truth is that those with political influence and mere ordinary pass is pushed to this position. Whereas in private sector employment, all of us know that choose the most talented with the required knowledge, soft skills and develop cultural capital.
Hi everyone, I'm Shakira Mohammed representing Muslim Ladies College. I'm the second speaker and I'm going to give my best shot for today's debate. Watch out. Ladies and gentlemen, now let me prove to you as to why me and my team members strongly believe that private universities shouldn't be established in Sri Lanka. First and foremost, it hinders the concept of free education, promoting inequality, leading on to class struggle. Now let me explain as to how this is happening. Students. Yes, ma'am.
Well, leading on to inequality means like when you educate a certain group, free education is free to all. It's only giving a certain percentage education, so that's not free. A certain percentage is uneducated.
Ma'am, I just said let me explain how, so please listen. The students from economically backward sections of the society has no other option than joining a public university through high competition. And the suggestion that Sri Lanka should switch to private higher education while the problems of the public universities still remaining unsolved is not at all acceptable. The main priority of the state should be first solve the problems of the public universities, which absorb the cream of the best performing students. When private universities come into being, then I'll explain how, what will happen to the public universities. The consequences would be the state lecturers, lecturers in the state universities will obviously be attracted to those high salaries offered in the private universities. They shift their services from the public universities to private universities for higher salaries, deteriorating our university system even more.
When you're having a new system, along with it comes certain policies. When you establish private universities, there should be a policy of equal salary for lecturers of their equal standards. So they can't
so you're indirectly accepting the fact that government is responsible and therefore government should regulate the private universities in some respect. So you mean to say government is responsible, so why not have a government interference with the private universities? What's the whole meaning of private then? The whole meaning of private is lost when the government is interfering. And also, I'll explain as to how it deteriorates our universities. It will create social unrest among the public university students because they get into the public university through high competition, and these people, the private university students, they just buy the degree. And also, it will create some ego towards the private university students because they are given high priority than these best performing students, and that's because of only one factor, mind you ladies and gentlemen, that's because of money. Yes.
Okay, what about the social unrest in 90s? Because the courses offered by the public sector did not match the job opportunities available, so they were unemployed.
Ma'am, what will you do if